Everyone to our second
Meatless
Meatless
Monday.
Monday. I am joined by the famous J&J Video Reacts over here, who has her show on Tuesdays at 7, right?
Yes, ma'am. The Tuesday takeover is what we call it.
Tuesday Takeover. I'm excited for that this week. Well,
Me too.
this one is not necessarily well, J&J does a lot of TikToks on her plant-based creations and things like that, and she does mention it. But this particular show for Takeover Tuesday is a show based on reality TV. So if you love those reality shows, we get together on Tuesdays and she hosts a great event to talk about those shows and
Yes. We bash them. No, I'm only kidding. It's not all about bashing. It's just about just getting into the shows and giving our opinion on them. And we have a lot of people that come on over there, Roe and Buddha 1000 and Wendy Jones and Dolly Bush, all the
everyone,
J crew.
please
Um,
be safe that's in the path of this storm. I know that
yes,
Ro is usually here with us tonight, but she is actually getting kind of
preparing.
hunkered down.
Yes, they're preparing to weather the storm, so to speak. So, Ro, if
Ah,
you're
here she is.
listening, you're in our prayers.
She is here. I just saw her. She just walked in.
Hey, honey, how you doing? Hopefully everything's all good with you.
Thanks for joining. And I know that we're fairly new at this, so we just want to come on and make sure that everyone knows we're here, and we are here to talk some plant-based goodness. So just to start out, I'll start off by telling my story really quick. If you haven't heard it before, which you probably have, but back in 2019, I was always kind of interested in like plant based. I had been eating some like kind of tofu every now and then, like from the Asian restaurant, and I was thinking, I sometimes I feel like meat smells kind of weird to me, so I might be able to, try this. I needed to, lose some weight. I was trying to lower my blood pressure, and Dawn actually J&J Video over here had this documentary she shared with me, and it was called Raw Food Healing, and it just had a bunch of people
I remember
talking, and it
that.
had Woody from Cheers on it, and he was talking about how he has so much energy now that he eats raw foods and he doesn't eat any meat or dairy. So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna try it. I'll try it for a day. I'll try it for a week. Let's see what happens. Because I've always been up and down with these different diets. I thought Atkins diet. I was on a Chipotle and Outback diet at that point, so that probably wasn't the best thing.
You there? Uh oh. You there? All right. I think something happened with vegan knowledge. Um, yeah, but I remember putting that on and having her look at that. And I had considered becoming a vegetarian. I said, "Hey, Jen, I'm thinking that I want to get rid of meat and become a vegetarian." And I was doing a lot of fasting at the time. This was like probably spring of 2018, and I had gone on this extended fast. First time I had ever done it for that long, and I had fasted for like 20 days straight. And Jen was like, "Well, I'm cool with the vegetable thing. I don't know that I want to get into the fasting thing, but I think I could do some vegetarianism." And I had been watching all this stuff about growing your own microgreens and growing your own food and going plant-based, and I stumbled on that thing with Woody, and she and I both watched it. Well, she took it to heart, and we both decided to go vegan or go vegetarian. And I lasted about 2 weeks on it, but Jen kept it going and took it to heart. And then she took it to being raw vegan, not just vegetarian. She took away the dairy and everything, and did it raw for like 3 to 6 months straight. She ate nothing but this huge salad at night and would not eat throughout the day. So she was doing intermittent fasting. She ate nothing throughout the course of the day. And I have just recently adopted that lifestyle. I call it fast and raw, because basically that's all I'm doing. I'm fasting throughout the day and I'm eating raw at night. So fast and raw, baby. It's a movement, it's a lifestyle. Get with it. Are you there, babe? Okay, I don't know what's happening with Jen's mic, but for whatever reason, it's not. We're unable to hear her. But yeah, fast and raw is what I've been doing, and I'm doing this as an aggressive effort to try to reverse the blindness that has beset me over the past 12 years. Let's see. Hold on. Did I mute you? No, I didn't mute you, sweetie. For whatever reason, it if you're talking, we're not seeing anything registering. Like not even, you know what I mean? Nothing's registering. So yeah, we're having a technical issue with vegan knowledge. She's here, she's on here, but for whatever reason, we're not hearing her. I think it's got to be something on your end. Sure, I'll send you the link. Okay, so I will. There it is. All right, I've got the link copied, Ro. You there? I'm gonna try sending you the link again, Jen, and see if that works. Okay, I just sent you the link again. Um, to your phone. And Ro asked me to send her the link, so I just sent it to her as well.
Hey,
Hey,
ladies, can you
Ro.
hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
You know what? I'm going to pop out and pop back in because you're like really low, like we were last week. So,
Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and put some music on while we try to deal with these issues. You there? Oh, hold on.
you.
Hello?
Can you hear me?
I can.
All right. Do we have Jen?
Jen, you there? I don't know what's going on.
Is she using her phone?
I have not, I think she was at the computer. Hold on, I'm gonna dip out. I'm gonna dip out. I'll be right back.
Well, hi everybody who's here. Um, I am Hubby and I are taking a break from hurricane prep so that I could come say hi to everybody. We are not in the direct path of the eye, but we're going to be on what they call the dirty side, which is the southeast side of the storm. So we're expecting a lot of wind and rain and possible flooding in our area. So hubby has been working on putting up hurricane shutters. We have one, two, three, four, five windows left, and the glass doors, which once we board those up, we can't go out the back door anymore. So that's going to be the last thing we do. Um, and then tomorrow, I have to go fight with the grocery store and get some dry ice. Well, it's whoever's going to be home first, but some dry ice because it works better to keep the stuff in the fridge and freezer cold and frozen in case we do lose power, which at this point they say is inevitable for our area. We're just hoping it keeps tracking east instead of moving. Well, we hope it keeps tracking west into the Gulf a little more and away from the coast. Because the more it stays out in the Gulf, the less the strength of the winds. Oh God, I can't. It's been such a long day. I can't even talk today. Um, but yeah, so I just got to do a couple of last minute things because I've been avoiding going to the grocery store because everyone's been hoarding like the beginning of the pandemic. Like the world's going to end. And the last time I saw this was with Irma and then again the pandemic. But I was just hoping that it would stay out in the Gulf more, like the one track was saying. But it looks like it's moving to the west a little and closer to us. So we're getting prepared. We have all of our battery backups um, charged or charging. Um, and just so not looking forward. This is our first storm in our house. We went through Irma in our condo, which was a steel and concrete building, and we were on the fifth floor. Um, and we didn't even lose power during Irma when all of our friends did. So this is the first one in the house, and of course we're closer to the water now. So it's just got us a little nervous. We don't usually worry with the storms, but like I said, it's the first one in the house. Hey Jen, are you there? Jen, I still can't hear you. You want to try doing it on your phone and just opening it up in desktop mode, which is what I did.
Yeah, because I don't get that because she was talking and then all of a sudden it
Yeah.
was done. Like she got cut.
They
Weird.
didn't like what she had to say.
Yeah, it's weird because
Yeah.
nothing is muted on my end or her end, but for whatever reason she's muted.
Well, that's why I suggested doing what I do. Go on your phone, open
Yeah,
it in your browser, which I use Chrome because I'm on an
yeah.
Android, and then I choose desktop site because when I just do it in mobile Chrome, I can barely hear you. But as
Hmm.
soon as I choose desktop site, it's
Right.
perfect.
Jen, are you there? That's weird. I'm almost wanting to just create a different live stream and see what's happening. So now there's two of her. There's another one in the studio. Let me pull this one in. Okay, that disappeared. Hold on. Let me mute myself. Okay, she's saying as soon as she goes to talk, it's immediately muting her. So I don't understand what's happening there.
I don't either.
I've never
That's
seen that
why
happen before.
that's why I suggested she try it on her phone.
She is on her phone.
And it's still doing it?
It's still doing it. What's that? Okay, you're on the computer now? Did you try doing it on your phone? Yeah, she tried both ways. I don't know. That's weird.
I think she should just hop in the studio with you. Share a mic.
Yeah, you want to do that, Jen? You want to just come in here? Yeah, that's freaking weird.
Gotta love Restream, right?
You got to. You got to. I mean, I'm almost wanting to maybe, I don't know if it's the stream, and maybe just all of us just create a new stream and send a new link out, or what?
Well, since it's only us here, it wouldn't hurt.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Jen, you want to try that? Huh? All right. She says she's gonna attempt it again. Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, what
There
Ah,
you
happened?
are.
I'm here.
What happened?
I didn't do anything. All I did was shut down the whole restream, all the tabs, and re-entered through the email, and it now works.
That's
That was weird.
weird.
It was like a glitch in the Matrix or something. I wasn't
I
supposed
think
to
it
finish my
was.
story or something. I was like, I don't
I
know.
think
It
something
did
was
not
weird there.
like that Ro was not here to begin.
There you go.
Restream was angry.
Yeah. Well, you know what they say, when in doubt, shut down and reboot.
Exactly.
There you
That's
go.
like the old trick to everything, isn't it? Like that
Control
looks like
Alt
what?
a
Delete.
genius to fix my TV every
It takes
time.
care of everything. Control Alt
Sometimes
Delete is
we
a
need
fix for
that as
everything.
people. And speaking of that, if you go completely clear out and go plant-based, it kind of reboots your system.
I'm working on it. I haven't had any meat in at least a week now.
I thought it would have been funny if you
Really?
had said a half hour.
No, I'm trying to think of my last meal where I had meat.
That's great. Congratulations. Do you feel better?
Yeah, the only thing that's upsetting my stomach now is coffee. Everything's fine.
I
I
have
was
gone to
gonna.
only drinking that on the weekends.
That is really good. I go to only drinking that every morning and afternoon.
Well, I
I
stopped at
love coffee.
Starbucks because the cold brew was upsetting my stomach, but the normal iced coffee
Oh,
seems to be okay.
She loves the
And
cold brew.
it's supposed to be the opposite. The cold brew is supposed to be less acidic. Um, but my Starbucks informed me that they're going to be closed tomorrow until the storm passes.
oh my.
And
Get
the
extra?
look on my face, I'm like, do you have any of the, pumpkin via? How am I supposed to make it through? So they gave me a cup of pumpkin sauce. And I'm going to pick up a bottle of cold brew at the grocery store tomorrow
I
because I have
tried
almond
that.
milk.
It just to me didn't seem the same. I don't know what you thought. Have you tried that before? The one is it the one you mix with water?
No, it's just the bottle of pre-made Starbucks cold
Oh,
brew in
okay.
the refrigerator section.
I might have
Um,
tried that too. I don't know. I
I
couldn't get
thought
it
you
to.
did try that, Jen.
I think I tried both of them, and the
it
one,
tastes more like iced coffee than the cold brew to me. So
yeah, but it's similar. It's more similar than not having it, right? Like
yeah, because
I'm making my own
you
Chipotle
can't put me in
burritos.
coffee withdrawal for 3 days, hunkered down through a hurricane.
Oh my
Joe and
God, I feel
Caitlin will not
sorry.
survive.
I was about to say I feel sorry for Joe and Caitlin.
Thank goodness you got that pumpkin.
Yes, I
Okay,
got the
so
pumpkin sauce.
do you want to attempt to tell your story again, Jen?
Oh,
Yes,
sure.
please.
Well,
I was enjoying it.
it was just it so we watched this video and I'm like, "Dawn, I'm going to do this. You want to do it with me? We're going to go in this I'm going to do a salad every night." So, we like got all these veggies and I got like cucumbers, carrots, broccoli, like everything you can think of. And I would just make this huge salad. There's like a picture of me holding one, and then sprouts, and I would have some cashew nuts and on top of it, and like I really got into it, and I would make these little like wraps, and I had two different dressings that I used, like the balsamic, and at that point I didn't even know there was vegan ranch. When I found that and vegan mayo, like my whole world changed. I was like, tomato sandwiches. I don't know if you have those where you are, or that might be like a Maryland thing, but I
Oh
was like,
no, my grandmother used to make them, and then I used to do lettuce sandwiches where I would toast the
yeah, I've
bread
done the
with a little
lettuce sandwich.
mayo and throw the lettuce on it,
Oh, it's so good, right? See,
and
you're
cucumber
old financial.
sandwiches.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah,
yes.
cucumber sandwiches are good.
But I
But
just I did this for 6 months straight, and like just I mean I got into, like, I was so into the raw that I wouldn't eat a roasted peanut if it
I
wasn't raw.
remember that. I was like, honey, you want these peanuts? She's like, no, they're roasted. I'm like,
And
Jesus.
I just kept adding on and adding on. Like, I would listen every night. I'd go in the kitchen, and while I was preparing the salad, because it would take me like an hour to make this salad because it was so darn big, and I liked making it fresh, and it was kind of like a thing, like a new hobby. So I would listen to health benefits of lettuce, health benefits of celery, health benefits of a plant-based diet, and I started hearing all these different things, like these people telling their story. But so it was April, right? Like right before the Easter. So April, May I used to get like start out my allergies. I'd have like a really bad cold. I'd start to get the itchy, watery eyes.
oh, I'm
Um,
going through it right now with the storm coming. I know exactly what you're describing.
for some
The sinus
reason,
headaches.
it never
Right.
came on that year after I went plant based. So something I was eating in my diet, I don't know if it was probably the dairy, because I heard that adds a lot of mucus, or something in the
Yes.
one of the meat, or I don't know
Yeah,
what
they
was
say
going on.
sinus people should not be have the milk causes more mucus. Like when you're sick, you should not be drinking any kind of milk or
So
and then or ice cream or any of that.
and then I read more about it later on, and it's because like technically our body, I was saying this on the last stream, is designed more like or exactly like a plant based eater, like a herbivore and not like a carnivore. So that's why we have so many digestive issues and like stomach issues and heartburn and acid reflux, because there's a certain pH that like the little juices that break down what we eat, and it's like we are not designed to like break down the meats that way, so that's why we have like such digestive issues. The milk that we were meant to drink is obviously our mother's milk and not a cow's
Yes,
milk, so then
and we're
we
supposed
have
to be
issues.
weaned.
It's like a allergy, like when you develop an allergy, or something's not supposed to be there, it provides mucus to like get rid of it. So that's what it's doing when we're drinking all this milk and ice cream, as good as it tastes. But they have substitutes, and I didn't do that for 6 months, and then I like well, I got my back stopped hurting, I got rid of allergies. I felt so much energy overall.
What
It
did you
was
do, Jen? You went from like 100 and like what? What was your weight loss journey
I
on
was
that?
about like at the top peak where I started. I was about 184, which was when I started, and then I was at
What's your
115,
lowest?
113
Dude,
after 6 months.
her stepfather
Yeah,
went
he thought something was
ballistic.
wrong with me. He literally thought like he was like trying to
You
force
need to
food on me.
start eating something.
Get
I
make
was
sure
like,
she eats, like he was yelling at Dawn and everything, and I'm
I'm
like,
like,
I'm
she's
fine, I feel
fine.
better
There's
than
nothing
ever,
wrong
I
with her.
honestly. And then but
I'm
I
like, she's
started looking at
healthier than you.
I didn't like it though, because like I started looking at myself like, I do feel a little too skinny. Like I feel like,
Yeah, I was like,
I'm
babe,
used to.
Put some meat back on, baby girl.
I need some meat. Like, my butt's bony. And I'm like, I had never said that. That would sounded funny to me from the weight journey I had been on, like to say that I was too skinny. I'm like, oh my goodness, this is a miracle. Did I just say that out of my mouth? Like, but it is what it is. And I was like, what you have to be where you feel comfortable. So I was like, I'm more than happy to start eating some potatoes and rice. And so
But
that
here's the
weight,
thing, though. That's
I
actually a vegan thing that they actually go down and become. It seems like people are always worried about when they first start, because there was this guy that I was watching, Kevin Winder, and he and his family was worried because he had gone down to like 120 pounds, and he was kind of like buff originally. But that's something that happens when you first go vegan. You drop a lot of weight.
you're like clearing out everything, and then you
Right.
can put it back on in a natural way. But I really enjoyed the putting it back on. That was fun. And like I didn't put on all 100. But the weird thing is I can eat as much as I want and I will
She
not
still
go
doesn't put it
above
back on.
125. Like it just sticks at that rate, and it's because you think that the carbs are what causes it. And I try to tell a lot of people that like I can eat a lot of carbs, but I don't know. It's just weird. I mean, everybody's body's different, but the way that mine is working now that I've lost that, it never come. I would think that I would probably the amount of food that I eat at night and so late right before bed that I should be like, back to like a way above my weight, but I fast for pretty much throughout the day. I'll eat fruit and a couple of things, but I eat like a big meal at night, and it like to me it improved so many things, and like it really helped my overall like energy levels and things like that. It just feels like better. It feels like I'm giving my body what it wants, like
Yeah.
that feeling. So I hope that I hope you continue on that and can find a way. Does did they ever figure out it was Beyond Meat, or what were you using, Impossible Meat?
Oh, what did you think about the Beyond?
We loved the Beyond. Caitlin and I are I made a very small batch that I usually make, I told you like 20-quart stock pot, 4 pounds pasta,
Yeah.
for Joe for the week. But with the storm coming, I made a very small batch and I only used Beyond. And Caitlin was like thrilled. Like it cooked up like regular ground beef. Like it had the fake meat juice.
Yep.
I
Okay,
love that
Joe
we
turned
coined
around.
that phrase.
Joe turned around and like he's sitting down eating a bowl of it, and he's like, "Oh my god, this tastes amazing! This is the best you've ever made it." And
Nice.
Caitlin and I are just like looking at each other, and we're
I'm
like,
telling
"Okay,
you.
we'll do it again."
That is great.
Dude, wait till you throw it on the grill. Like if you get some Beyond burgers, wait till you grill them up. I mean, they legit
It
taste
to
better
me has
than.
like they already kind of season it a little bit, even
Yeah.
though you can season it
Yeah.
on your own. But like to me, it tastes like
I
it
threw some
has like
liquid
a
smoke
flavor
on
more
Well,
than
there.
meat. Because if you think
I
about meat, a dead animal doesn't have no flavor. I mean, it's just meat. Like
yeah.
it is what it
Well,
is. We season everything anyway, so.
and I seasoned it while I was cooking it. So, um,
Mhm.
I threw some red wine in there, some Italian seasonings, a little garlic powder,
Oh my
um, and
God.
seasoned
You're
it up
making me
really
so
good.
hungry.
I
All
And
right,
know.
then
stream is over.
when I started making the sauce, I then seasoned the sauce with the same seasonings like I usually do, and added a little more red wine because you got to have red wine in the sauce or it's not right. Um,
Right?
and he was just like he couldn't to use vernacular. I put my foot in it,
You
and
know what,
he was
too? That's a really good thing because if you like if you have that recipe sounded so good.
oh, it's amazing. And I mean, the hardest part is because you're boiling, when I make the full version of it, to boil 11 quarts of water,
Mhm.
the water takes like an hour to come to a boil.
That's like a
So
lot of water.
the sauce just sitting there simmering and simmering and, going. Yeah, the whole thing takes me about 2 hours to finish, but
And I
because you got
bet
to
it's
cool
better
down the
the
pasta.
second
People
day,
don't
isn't it?
realize that if you're going to be making something that you're going to be putting in the fridge and reheating, I know you guys are raw right now, but if you go back to eating hot food,
Oh, I
you
mean,
got to
come on.
cool the pasta to stop the cooking process.
Right.
Otherwise, when you go to reheat it, it's just going to be mush.
That's why I
Right.
Because
blame cold water on it, Jen, whenever I make pasta.
I
Is
stick
it?
ice pops in it to cool it down even faster.
Do you?
Yeah, and that's why a lot of like Italian restaurants, they have blast freezers to cool the pasta down.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Unfortunately, I got a chef's kitchen without a blast freezer, but whatever. Um, but yeah, he was just going nuts for it, and I'm like, you know, yeah, the Beyond costs more than the ground beef, but the health benefits are like, so much better. And when you figure out the cost per meal, you
Mm-hmm.
know, I buy the tomatoes, canned tomatoes, because it's got to be the Marino, San Martino, or plum tomatoes. I buy them at Gordon Food Service, which is like one of the restaurant service like places. So I get like you paying for it wholesale, so it's so much cheaper than in the grocery stores and stuff. So I buy it there. Um, and then, I get the pasta there because again, it's wholesale. And they have whole wheat. And then, the most I throw my carrots in it to, you know, diced up really small in the chunky sauce, with some extra diced tomatoes. Because Joe likes his sauce chunky and he doesn't realize that the carrots are in there. Um, which helps cut the acid for those of us who have acid reflux. You don't want to add sugar to the sauce. You want to add carrots. It cuts the acid. And then I throw it all together and he eats it. He and Caitlin eat it. I think it lasts about 4 days, 5 days. So if you think per meal, what, I spent to make it, it's like less than $3 a meal.
Definitely. That's true. And a lot of people think that plant-based costs more. Yeah, if you're going to buy every single thing as a replacement item, but if you think about it, most things you can actually make once you get into it, and I'm sure you'll start doing this, like, or if you already haven't, like, instead of Beyond Meat, at some point you'll use mushrooms or lentils maybe or something
Yeah.
that's even cheaper. But plants are the cheapest thing that you buy. It's the meat and the items in the freezer section that actually
Yeah.
cost the most money. So like, it's like if you wanted to, if all you ate was chicken tenders and Gardein products and meatballs and things, and you're not really eating any, but most of your meals, that's what I told people before. Like, they're like, I don't know what I would eat. Well, what are you going to eat tonight? I'm going to eat hamburger helper. Okay, so you take the hamburger helper, and instead of hamburger, you might put Beyond Meat in it. You're still, you're only, most stuff is plant based. Like
See,
if you're
and I would be telling them not to buy the hamburger helper. Get a bag of egg noodles, get a packet of brown gravy mix,
right.
and get your Beyond Meat because all of the preservatives and
Yes.
stuff in that box are what is making our
Crazy.
kids fat.
Yeah, definitely.
So
Definitely.
my mom never like she made hamburger helper for me I think once. Then she realized what was in it and
Mhm.
realized she could make it herself for cheaper
Like, did you
and
ever see the
healthier.
sodium in like a
Yeah,
frozen pizza? It's ridiculous. Like, I remember that time we were eating a lot of those Totinos or whatever they were, and one day me and Dawn looked at the back of it like, what in the world? Like, it was like 1,470 milligrams of salt in one like serving, or maybe it was the whole pizza. I don't know, but that's way more than you should ever have in like a week.
yeah, it's insane. And then my mom used to like doctor up the hamburger helper. She would put diced carrots in it for me and make it more like a goulash.
So your mom was
Like
like a
a
cook.
Well, no, she was like me. She was like, quick meals but healthy
But
meals.
fresh ingredients.
Right.
Yeah. So
That's
like
good.
hamburger helper, the way she made it took the same amount of time because you start the water for to start it boiling before you start doing anything else. And by the time, the egg noodles were done, everything else was done and you just throw it together. She would make, again, we were meat eaters, so she would make me beef stew from
Mhm.
scratch, and we would
Wow.
Oh,
eat
wow.
it for
My
days.
grandmother used to make beef stew. God, that was so good.
Yeah, like they would put the thing in the pot,
Grossing
like
me out now. To
for the
think
whole,
about it.
like like in the crock pot. I
Yep,
think
in the crock
the
pot, and she would do
texture
the
is.
cornstarch and make the mush and put
Hmm.
that in, so it would make the gravy as it cooked in the crock pot.
Right.
And which I still have to, I did not make my mushrooms and egg noodles this week because of the storm, and I eat a lot smaller portions than my sister and my husband do, and
Mhm.
I eat very slow. So,
Eating slow is like a
one
really
pound of
cool
egg
thing.
noodles with the mushrooms and gravy will outlast me the same amount of time as the 4 pounds for them. So, and
Wow.
I'll eat it for lunch and dinner. I eat out of like IKEA toddler bowls. Like I eat such small portions that people, they get to know me and they see what I eat and they're like, "How are you your size?" And I'm like, "It was the steroids. I'm She-Hulk." And then Joe, of
I
course,
eat
hubby was
so
making fun of
much.
me when they came out with the She-Hulk TV show as She-Hulk attorney at law. He's like, "Look, they made you a show."
Oh man, like no joke.
Um, but yeah, Caitlin wanted to go out to lunch with her girlfriend after work on Saturday because we were all hanging out. So we went to Olive Garden, and I would normally get like chicken parm, but I wasn't in the mood for it. So I had soup, salad, and breadsticks. And usually I get the pasta visual, but I
Mhm.
went with the minestrone because all I wanted was the tomato broth to dip my breadsticks in. And
Mm.
I ate the salad, which it's mostly iceberg. It's not the best salad, but it's the salad that I can digest at this time
I
until
had a
things start
salad
getting
from
better.
Carrabba's one time. It's similar to I think the Olive Garden salad, isn't it? And that
Yes,
was
it's
pretty
their
good.
Italian salad. It's got like a creamy Italian dressing.
Yeah, I can't
Yeah,
remember
Joe get
what the dressing. I think I had my own dressing on it at that point. I think I was already vegan, but someone didn't want the salad.
um so yeah, so that's what I had while we went out, and I was perfectly happy. That's usually, what I get for lunch at Olive Garden is soup, salad, and breadsticks. It's dinner I get like the chicken parm if like we're going out for like a date night. So
You
it
know,
I
that's another thing
really
you could make, is that, you know how we were talking about the Gardein Ultimate chicken fillets? If you
yeah.
look those up and put your vegan cheese on top and your spaghetti sauce mixture,
Yeah.
they will make a great chicken parm too. I
Well,
bet you'll like it better than Olive Garden.
and I was really shocked. I talked to Caitlin today about after the storm passes,
How old is
because
Caitlin?
she's 25, but she
Okay.
is high functioning autistic. So usually, this is her diet and this is all she's sticking to.
Right.
Like, they are very,
The fact that she's open to it is great.
and so I was talking to her about, because I make my mom used to make it like it was almost like a 7-layer dip, but we call it taco bake. It's like a hot nacho cheese
Oh,
dip.
yes, yes, yes.
Okay,
I've had
so
that
it's got like
before. Not that
the
particular one, but
well, we do the ground beef, the taco sauce, a little
mhm.
sour cream, and then melted cheese, and then you serve it on tortilla chips. Well, I got the vegan almond milk cheddar uh, shredded cheddar cheese, and I
Mhm.
have the vegan sour cream that both of them were willing to try the vegan sour cream because
Which
it's
one did
almond
you
milk
try
sour cream.
again? Was it too fruity?
Um, no, it's Kite Hill.
Oh, Kite Hill. Do you like that? I didn't like the Kite Hill as much as I do Forager, but most people like live by it.
Well, I bought the Kite Hill. This is the first time I'm trying it. So, but I love the Kite Hill European style almond milk butter. That's the
Okay.
butter that I use
So
because
if you
it
already
melts like
use
regular
Kite Hill,
butter and you can cook with it. Like it melts down like butter to like, make a roux or to make like a garlic butter sauce where like I can't believe it's not and the and balance I
Earth
found
Balance is
don't.
my favorite one.
Um so but because this one is more like an actual butter than like, the oil based, like I guess the earth balance ones I've tried were more like I can't believe it's not than like actual butter.
Right.
Um, I actually like cooking with the Kite Hill and making garlic butter and cooking mushrooms in it, and it has a different. I like putting that garlic butter on my egg noodles. If I don't want gravy that week, if I just want or like bow tie pasta. I
Mhm.
love garlic butter bow tie pasta. Um, and sun-dried tomatoes with mushrooms. Like I eat a lot of vegetables. I love veggies. It's just right now until my body gets used to this and I can see what I can throw at it. I
Yeah.
still am following the crones and cooking my vegetables. Like I said,
Yeah.
iceberg seems to be like the only lettuce that is digestible for me so far. I'm going to start as I get more into this, like with a baby, how you do a new food once a
Adding
week to
some
see how
stuff
they
in.
take it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good idea. That is a
Because
really good
spinach
idea.
is the next thing I want to add in is just raw baby spinach. I miss it so much.
I
Yeah.
Um,
eat a ton of that.
so I was really surprised. I mentioned to Caitlin, I was gonna make. She asked for taco bacon the next couple of weeks, and I said, "Well, would you be will? I'll make it your way, but I'm gonna make one for me with the Beyond Meat and the vegan sour cream and the cheese shreds that I got. Would you be?" And she's like, "Yeah, I'm willing to try yours."
Oh, that's great. That's good, and
Um,
that's gonna probably make her feel so much better too over
yeah,
time.
because unfortunately, she is my carnivore. She
I
will
was a
eat
carnivore too.
nothing but steak for dinner. Like no
I
side dishes, nothing, just the steak.
I
I
Um,
used
literally
to
like
love carnivore, like especially the Ferris wheel.
aha.
those
You
are
don't
Jen's jokes,
you don't
Dawn.
spinach much time telling
She's
jokes
not
as
the
I do.
only
Get
one.
it? You don't spinach much time. I was trying.
Spinach as much time.
Your spinach pun with your carnivore
She's
pun.
punalicious.
So am I. I usually say I'm so punny.
Takes pun to no pun.
So like
Oh my god.
I'm really proud of her. She's been doing this a lot more where she's willing to try new foods. And now that she's had just the Beyond Meat and noticed that it doesn't taste any different, she's like, I wonder if the cheese is going to taste any different. That's why she wants to try it. Like, I'm still going to make it the old way for them, but I'm going to cut it like I'm
Yeah,
probably going to just use Beyond Meat and let's see if they notice.
I
But I'm going
think
to
it's
give them
gonna
real
be,
cheese.
the thing with the cheese too. I don't know if you've tried Chow, CHAO. It's made by like Field
That's good
Roast.
stuff.
That's a good one for melting. They have shreds, but I mean, diet cheese to me, I know, like if you get the four cheese blend, to me it tastes just like the regular cheese. Like, and
Yeah.
I've been vegan a little bit before I started trying this, but the Hellman's vegan mayo, the Hidden Valley Plant Ranch, I mean, the stuff. If you find the right one, it's like
Yeah.
you almost want to test it first and then have them try it, in my opinion. Because if you tell
Yeah.
people the wrong thing, they'll do what I did. I had a veggie burger when I was like in my 20s, and I thought this is the grossest thing. I'll
Oh
never
my
be
God, those
vegan.
original veggie burgers were
You know,
so bad.
so it's like
Oh, the
you have
black
to
bean
find
Oh,
the
those are
burger.
right stuff.
nasty.
I'm like, trust me, I've tried everything. I will tell you what the right stuff is, and that way you can go right in and you don't have to make all those mistakes. I was just really committed, but you find somebody who's not committed and they're going to try one thing, and especially, if she's already kind of picky about her food, you don't want to turn her off to it, So it's like you
Yeah.
got to find the right
I'll
stuff.
try it first.
I think it's gonna work out though, because I think eventually people like to try they like the chase of it, And you
Yeah.
seem like one of those kind of people. Like you'll be like coming on here like I just made this that tastes just like meatballs, like
Well,
you'll
and I asked her when I was buying the Beyond, I was at Whole Foods, and right above the packages of the meat, they had the Beyond meatballs. And I said, Caitlin, do you want me to get you a package of meatballs? And she turned around to me tonight while she was eating hers, um, and she goes, I really wish you had gotten the meatballs. And I said, okay, well, next time I'll get you some meatballs.
try the
Um,
Gardein ones.
Yeah,
okay, I saw the
The
Gardein
Gardein ones are
crumbles.
better than the
The Gardein meatballs are so
crumbles,
good.
and the meatballs are better than the Beyond.
Okay,
Yeah,
I just
Gardein meatballs, definitely. They taste to me like you would not be able to tell the difference. I've even had non-vegans say that.
And crazy enough, Beyond makes crumbles and they suck. So
yeah.
Gardein has the market on that.
Um, but like even Thanksgiving, I would rather have the vegetables and the mashed potatoes than necessarily the turkey. What I
Me too.
wanted the turkey for was to make turkey soup. Like, and I was in Whole Foods like I said the other day, and because I'm like, how am I going to do? Because we were talking about matzo ball soup and what would I use as the base and etc. And they had vegan veggie broths. They had a mushroom one. They had one. It was turkey flavored, but it was vegan. So I'm like, okay, I'll just be going to Whole Foods and buying my broth rather and stock rather than making it from scratch. Um,
Right.
but I've always been the veggie person, so for me, like I would maybe eat like 2 or 3 meals a week that had meat in it. But like
Mhm.
Joe would stop at Wendy's and I'm like, can you get me a baked potato?
Right.
And he's like, that's all you're having? I said, yeah, I just want a plain baked potato. Like, just bring home a baked
Understand.
potato. I'm Irish and Ukrainian. Like, Eastern European. Just, I live on potato, okay? My
I
mom,
love
I know
potatoes.
we're addicted to them.
my comfort food, like, I broke my wrist a couple of years ago. I tried to play double dutch with the gas pump hose. And I'm calling my mom. Yeah. So I
You're
made it
crazy.
over to throw garbage away and then tried to go back over it. And that's when I fell.
No,
Um,
no.
Oh,
yeah. Because it didn't occur to me to take it off from the car tank and then put it back in or go around the car. No, I had to try and play double dutch. So I'm
mhm.
calling her from the urgent care that I fractured my skyphoid, which is between the thumb and the wrist, and
Okay.
and I sounded all down because we were supposed to be closing on the house in like 2 weeks, etc. And I was going to have to get a cast. And she's like, "That's okay, hon. You come home, I'll make you mashed potatoes." And by the time I came home, she had her mashed potatoes done, and I put my little almond butter on it, and I ate mashed potatoes for dinner. That's my
That's
comfort
it.
food. I
But
love
that's what
mashed
I think.
potatoes.
There's people that come on sometimes I'll see an ad for like vegan bacon, let's just say, or vegan tofurkey like lunch meat. And there's people that comment underneath and are like, well, if you're so against meat and hurting animals, then why do you want vegan bacon? Well, everybody has a comfort food. Not all of us
Yeah,
started out vegan. So like yeah, we used to have spaghetti and meatballs on my grandmother's birthday, you know what I mean? So the fact that I feel that as a comfort food, then that to me, I want to still experience that sometimes. It doesn't mean that I want it to be an animal. It means I like the taste of that. I've said this was also in one of the vegan films we watched. I didn't eat meat because I wanted to hurt an animal. I ate meat because I liked the taste of it. So that
yeah.
didn't change because I wanted to be healthier.
Oh,
Like it's the taste of it that we're trying to achieve. If you like the taste and you grew up eating something,
yeah,
you want that taste. So the fact that there's like vegan restaurants and places that make vegan comfort food, it helps people transition over. And yeah, it's not as healthy as maybe eating such and such, all salads or whatever, but it's definitely healthier than eating meat and dairy because it's causing all our problems in
well,
most people's
not
health.
only that. So what you were saying reminded me of the story that I wanted to hold on to for tonight. But before I get into the story, have you like seen all the news. It was like on the news during the pandemic about how much greenhouse gas butchering
Yeah,
the meat.
it's
Yeah.
the
It's
worst.
worse than driving
It's
a
worse
giant
than
SUV.
eating, I mean, having a plastic container is worse than anything else that people can do. And people are sitting around eating meat, putting their little recycling bins out, but it's really you're not
Yeah.
doing much if you're not stopping the meat, eating meat. But I don't think it people make that connection a lot.
So we are I'm not originally from Florida. Okay, I'm originally from Long Island. I grew up, a girl from the
Long
burbs of
Island,
the
same
city.
here.
Yes, Long Island. So Caitlin comes home from school in seventh grade and goes, Ronnie, I joined the FFA. And I'm like, what the, like, I know FBLA, FWBLA, like, what the hell is FFA? She's like, Future Farmers of America. I said, what are you, Old McDonald? What are you talking about? So that started the next 6 years of having to be at the county fair every day to take care of her rabbit because she would show rabbits in the fair. Okay. So I want to say it was like ninth grade after doing this for, this was our third year now. My mom and another mom were talking about leading up to the fair, going halves on a steer, buying the steer. And when you buy the steer, it includes the butchering, etc., and splitting the meat, but you have to bid on the steer. Now, I always bid on the plant sale because the kid, they would have the individual plants that the kids grew, and then they would have the club plants, and I would bid on all of the kids' plants and the club plants. We lived in a condo. I would wind up with $300 worth of plants and have to give them away to people. But it was, tax. I was small business owner. It was a tax write off for me. It was charity, and the kids got to see, the auction prices go up because their parents were bidding and other people were bidding, and I'd raise the prices.
Hmm.
Sometimes I would get stuck with the high bid, and it's like whatever. So my mom's like, well, if you're willing to do that for the plants, let's do that for a steer. I said, I can't do that. And she's like, why not? I'm like, because I have to pick it out. I've seen its face. We have bonded. I can't go and eat Bessie.
Yeah.
Right.
Bessie's a pet now.
That's
Exactly.
crazy.
And I didn't realize like I never made that connection until probably like I started out doing this for a lot of health reasons, but as you get more like delve into that and start reading stuff and looking up stuff and you join like YouTubes and groups and Facebook that are all about vegan and plant-based, you start to make this weird connection like I had. I was probably about maybe 7 months, 8 months in, and I was like all of a sudden one day I was thinking, like, really, what is the difference between me looking at my cat, or my dog sitting here? Well, we have a cat, but, and I'm looking at her and I'm looking at she was laying in the window. I'm looking at the back leg, you know what I mean? And I'm like, okay, she's an animal. What makes
Mhm.
it that I won't eat her? But it's okay to eat this cow who has the same personality. We've all seen the videos, you know what I mean? We've watched people petting the cows. Like
Oh no,
that
the
cow
FFA
has the
kids
same,
teach the FFA
yeah,
kids teach the cows tricks. Like they sit and they do things, and that's part of the sale. Like to get the price up is like they teach the cows how to do tricks like dogs.
but
And
there's
I'm
no
like,
connection there. Okay, but then you take that same cow and you're going to make him scared and kill him and slaughter him, which I'm not anti, like, right here, if anybody's listening who eats meat, it's not like that's a thing because I ate meat for, 42 years and I get it. And I never made that connection. But isn't it weird when you, like, when it clicks, like in a situation like that? But it's like out of sight, out of mind.
well, and then there's the old joke growing up in New York and hanging out in Chinatown that Chinese chicken is actually cat, and
Right.
then I found out that in Peru they eat guinea pigs. That's like their weird food, like we were talking about on 90 Day,
It's
and in
like one
Hong
person's
Kong.
pet is another person's food, but if you really think about it, why is it okay? and not okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, why is it not okay that someone eats? There was a Did you ever see that website going around? It was like this thing for the vegans were putting out, like a lot of vegan groups and stuff. It was an actual website that said, click here, top quality dog meat. And you got on there and said, okay, are you appalled about by this? You know, like, and it was a whole like thing, like they just
No, I
wanted.
must have missed it.
Remember,
Yeah, I'll try
remember
to find it.
the bullshit that we went through, Jen? We're delivering food, and somebody actually called one of the Chinese restaurants because we had a picture of a cat that had Chinese food sitting on it with a Coke. One of our customers took a picture of her cat sitting in front of her
Said even
Chinese
the
food after
cat
she
likes
ate
the
it.
Chinese food or something.
And they called
And
the
the
Chinese
Chinese
restaurant
restaurant.
pissed off. And then Judy calls us saying, yeah, you guys really shouldn't have a picture of a cat near the chicken because you know what people say about the Chinese food. And I'm like,
Yeah.
well, if you're not putting a cat in it, then you have nothing to worry. That's an innocent picture. First of all, we didn't even put the picture out. It was one of our customers who was thanking us for delivering food. So, but
Yeah.
she got so paranoid about that because of that myth.
Well, and then I found out in Hong Kong they eat pugs
Oh my
because
goodness.
What?
that, yeah, pugs are Chinese dogs. They run around like crazy, like Chihuahuas in Chihuahua, Mexico. They're like the local rats. They eat pugs. Like, I am like ready to, if I ever hit Powerball or Mega Millions, I'm going to Hong Kong and like stealing all the pugs because I have two pugs. Like, I could never imagine, even if I was starving to death in this hurricane, I could never eat one of my babies.
Yeah,
And
that's
I always
crazy.
said, if the zombie apocalypse happens, I'm gonna die because I can't hunt and kill my own food. I can't do that to an animal. I always used to say before, I really went veggie, that it's one thing, it's already dead in the supermarket, it's gonna just go bad. You know, I don't know that animal. And now I feel like, such an idiot for saying that, because it was
I am
an
there too
animal
with
that,
you.
grew up on a farm and some kid probably played with it like its dog every day. It reminds me of Charlotte's Web, where they saved Wilbur from being,
No, I'm not.
sold
I just
off at
had
the
to.
county fair.
I'm going to leave out of this one. Just leaving.
Oh,
One of me is leaving.
okay.
Can you still hear me?
Yeah.
I had to run to the other room, so menu the
Oh,
cat.
okay. I know. So after watching Charlotte's Web, yeah, you kind of grow an affinity for like the pig, right?
Yeah. Well, I always thought my favorite character was always the rat.
Really?
Yeah, the troublemaker. Like, I always liked him. And then, Charlotte has all her babies at the end, and but it's like, everyone's like, oh, Charlotte's Web. I'm like, no, Charlotte was the spider. That's why it's Charlotte's Web. And it was
Mhm.
Wilbur was, and it's the little girl just wanted to save him from going to the county fair to be sold.
Mhm. I vaguely remember
And it's
Charlotte's Web.
that's the whole point of Charlotte's Web is she was, the dad was raising this little piglet and she became really close to it. It became her pet. And then now he was full grown. It was time to take him to the county fair, for him to be put up for auction and sold. And Charlotte starts, making these words in her web, like, great pig or amazing pig. And he becomes
Right.
like a sideshow instead. So it
Right.
saves him.
That's so cool.
But I
I
remember the
never
hardest
even
scene
knew
for
that.
me.
I forgot. Like, is that
Yeah, right. I remember that now. You're bringing
like?
back the
But
memory of that.
you know how they could
Jay,
online. It could be like Charlotte surfing the web. No.
Nah. And you're breaking up. If you're gonna tell bad jokes, you can't be breaking up.
but But I
Yes.
just remember my mom reading me that book as a kid and then watching the animated movie. And I mean, I guess I never put two and two together because it was pigs and I already didn't eat pigs because of Babe. But I wasn't until Caitlin was in high school and my mom wanted to do it with the steer. I mean, they had a class mascot that was a cow. And, they kept this cow because it was a dairy cow. So, can't go to slaughter because they only slaughtered the steers, and they would take it around to events in the community, come pet our cow. I can't even remember the cow's name now, but like that cow would see me coming and I would have like carrots and stuff for it, and it was waiting at the fence for me like a puppy, and it would
Wow.
sit and wait for
Yeah.
its treat, and like we would dance with the cow and stuff at the little FFA barn raisings and
Mhm.
dances or whatever. They would do it in the barn and they let the cow into the barn with them and they dance with the cow. It was the school pet. And I'm like, how is it okay for that cow, but you can send your other ones? And they're like, that's how we were raised. We were raised on farms. You're raising it to send it to slaughter. I'm like, but how? Like, how do you do that? You raise it, you teach it tricks, and then you send it off to be killed.
I know, I
Like, could you do
know.
that with your dog? And they're like, well, no, not with the dog. The dog's not food.
The dog's not
In
food.
some countries it is. It's all a matter of what you think.
There's
Like in
certain.
India, they worship cows. They would never
Yeah.
kill a cow.
Yeah, it's like, where did that separation come in, and who created that separation? This is food. This is an animal that we love. It's not really fair in animals that were decided upon not to be the loved ones. Like it's just a ironic thing, but that's how we were all raised. And it, but
And then it
you
also
know,
varies by geographical area and all of that. There's a lot that goes into that.
if we could
Well, and it,
thinking,
sorry.
we need the people who do this for a living, though. We do need them to have an alternative, because also it has. If you're a farmer and that's how you make your money, you sell cows and sell the meat. There's a you
Teach
need to
them
have
an
an
alternative way to
alternative.
make a living, right?
Yep, and there's like people that have went from mushroom farming and are doing really well and actually making more money because it's cheap. So it's definitely, there
And
needs to
better
be
for
an
the environment.
Yeah.
yeah. The other thing was dairy. That was the thing that shocked me the most. And Ro, I know you already don't. Dawn, that was one of the last things that you gave up. Because
Yeah,
in
pizza.
your
I haven't had a pizza in like a couple of months, but that was I was all straight up no dairy except for pizza. Pizza was and
and
still remains to
she
this day my weakness, but I have not had it in like 2 months.
and she hasn't killed me
Well, why don't you
in
make
a
it at
fairly good.
home? They sell cauliflower crusts.
Yeah, well, vegan pizza, I've had
You
a
have to
couple of
find
them and
one
I just can't seem
that
to
you
find one
really
that I
like.
can that can keep me away from the real thing.
Well,
But I
okay.
just had to give it up.
I don't know what it's like in Maryland, but I know back in New York and down here at our, transplant restaurants, we can go in and buy the dough from the restaurant. And our local place that we go to, they have a cauliflower crust because I haven't found ones in the stores that taste as good. So I'll
Mhm.
go buy their crust and make it at home. Um, and you can put your vegan cheese on it and make your own pizza at home.
That's a good idea.
Wow.
Because people
That
do that at
is.
John's all the time. They tell me they without the cheese, they'll just buy the sauce and the crust. Because Papa John's actually has vegan, not vegan crust, but I've heard it is vegan actually. It doesn't have any butter or anything in it. So that's interesting, isn't
What,
it?
Papa John's
I think
crust is vegan?
that's what I heard.
What?
Yep.
Oh,
Like
I don't need to
people
hear
say,
that right now, though.
and get the vegan cheese, and they do have vegan cheese. I'm like,
why don't they just go all out if they're gonna do it? Let's just do it.
I know
They've got
somebody needs to
planned
make
meat.
a vegan pizza that is like make it
Like
like a
a whole
DiGiorno or something.
in your
Well, and that's
area.
why, if I can find a decent mozzarella in the vegan, which it's going to take trying them, I will, I will do a video where I make my vegan pizza at home with the crust from our local pizza place, um, and the sauce that I make myself, and you know, throw the cheese on it. And I like mine with mushrooms, but I'm a huge mushroom person.
I love my
Um,
mushroom.
We love mushrooms. I'm an
but you
onion
could throw the
person.
Gardein crumbles on it if you like like the old
Like a meat
meatball
Meat
lovers.
pizza.
Yeah,
sauce.
Yeah,
yeah,
and
definitely.
yeah, and I will be the guinea pig and
We were just
see
talking
how it
about.
comes out. Because I mean, I do it here sometimes. Like, we order from our pizza place in New York, and have them ship down the crust.
Yeah, New York
From
crust is the best. New York pizza, period, is the best.
Well, the place where I grew up, they used to do the sauce on top. So, but it was like like a old, the grandma pie where it was
Yep.
Sicilian, but it was super, super thin.
Yeah.
And we have that, instead of having to freeze a whole pizza and ship it down, I asked them to just send me
Wait a
the
minute.
crust.
A thin Sicilian? That's a thick
Yes.
pizza. How's it
N-
thin?
No, it's called a grandma's pie. It's super, super thin. It's um
What, like a cracker crust?
no, it's not that thin. It's like um about the same thickness as like a really thin, like a brick
Like
oven
a
pizza,
hand tossed? Okay.
but it's like
Maybe
Sicilian.
slightly thicker than a hand tossed, but not as big as a Sicilian.
Yes,
Okay, I got you. I can
because I
visualize.
didn't like their round pie because I was so used to it as a Sicilian. They call it square pie, but it's
Right.
rectangle. And I
We called it
it's so
Ilios.
much cheaper to ship it to me because a full pizza was $50 with shipping to send it to Florida, where just the crust I can get 2 or 3 crusts for that $50.
And make your own.
Yes, because
Wow.
Caitlin fell in love with it when we went back home for a trip, and
Mm-hmm.
so I make it here for her.
Wow. Ugh. Yeah, I couldn't live next to you, Ro. I'd be fat as all get out. I'd be big as a house girl.
I'm
Because I'd always be over there eating.
to talk about if we am I gone again? Can y'all still hear me?
No, we can hear you.
We can hear
I
you.
felt like my doing weird. Sounds so good, and I don't want New York pizza.
Yeah, New York
But
pizza
I'm
is the
having
best.
reminding
Well, my mom had.
the dairy
Sorry.
industry. If you think of
Well, so many people are going plant based. I heard a comedian say, they call it milk because nobody would drink it if it was called nut juice. So we call it nut juice. Joe's like, we're almost out of nut juice.
oh, you know what I was gonna say too? You reminded me. Um, well, I'm definitely a nut, so that's probably where I get it from the nut juice.
Well, hey,
When you
sometimes
said
you
that
feel like a nut, sometimes you don't.
when it's expensive, like you said, we all start buying this stuff, the supply and demand, it will lower the price
Yeah.
it's now, obviously. But as
Mm-hmm.
we continue to buy more plant-based products, it's like they're not just in these organic specialty shops anymore. They're
Oh,
everywhere. Like
no.
Royal Farms,
Walmart
check.
has it.
Like
Yeah.
turkey, Walmart got all kinds of products. Watched in the last 5 years or 3 years
Yeah.
that I've been vegan, almost 4. I mean, like I had like one little row of vegan cheese. Now it's like a whole stuff, a whole aisle of vegan stuff. All the plant
Yeah.
milks grown. It was like there was now it's like soy, almond, oat, everything that like Food Lion this place has.
Somebody was telling me at Whole Foods about banana milk.
Whole Foods. Oh, I've
Yeah,
had
banana milk's good.
banana ice cream before, but I've never heard of banana milk. But it makes sense.
Yeah, she said she likes to use banana milk in her smoothie. She was one of the cashiers at Whole Foods.
And then
Yeah.
what is a lot of these Sprouts, Whole Foods. There's now that have plant based.
Fresh Market, Trader Joe's, Aldi's.
That's
Well, Aldi's is like
oh, that's right.
if
You
you
tell
took
me. I went there.
okay, so Aldi's is like if you took a Save-A-Lot and a Trader Joe's and put them together.
Oh, okay.
So everything it's extremely clean, and everything is extremely cheap. I get a half gallon of almond milk for $2.19.
How much?
We gotta go to Aldi's.
$2.19.
Going
Two
That's
period
we gotta go to
19.
Aldi's. We have got to go to Aldi's.
I'm paying minimum.
I know. I was in Whole Foods and I'm like, oh, we need almond milk, and they wanted $3.99 for 365 brand at Whole Foods, and I'm like, no, we'll just stop at Aldi's on the way home. It's $2.19.
We have
And then you're looking,
card, MVP
and
card.
the cow's milk is $4.99.
Wow.
And that's the cheapest you can find cow's milk right now. And they have a sign up limit of 2 on the cow's milk because it's so hard to get right now. But you can buy all the almond milk
if you
you
think,
want, and it's good for months.
Think about
Right.
an almond and a cow. Like, you have to go into it now, but these poor cows, like, you see these cows all smiling, and if you knew what they go through, they're like artificially impregnated. They go through, and then they have this baby for 9 months or whatever. It's almost like our life cycle. And they have the baby. They rip it away from them. The cows are crying out because they're taking to drink the milk. I mean, it's just it's a terrible thing all the way around. And I know I'm an advocate to start with, but the more I started thinking about it, I'm like, dang, I'm glad I'm.
Well, the thing that disgusted me was when I read, me and my NIH website, the amount of pus that is legally allowed to be in the cow's milk.
No. Oh my God.
And it's not only if you buy organic is it ultra pasteurized. So only if you buy organic is it heated to a temperature that is going to kill off all of that pus and bacteria.
And the pus
so
is in
our
the milk
kids are
because they're
ingesting
over milking them. And shit. Like,
yeah.
ew,
And then somebody's, because I'm like one of those pimple popper people. Like I love watching them, but somebody sent me one of somebody breaking open an abscess in a cow.
Mm.
Oh my God! It was I usually love my blackhead videos, but this actually made me physically ill.
Really? I thought it was awesome.
Oh, Caitlin.
What did Doc say again about what did Doc say she was going to do regarding the ice pack thing in the freezer? Because I completely forgot what you were saying.
She didn't say what she was going to do. I think she was going to try and find someone else.
Was she mad at me?
No.
Because I misremembered what you said and said something different at work.
It's okay.
I thought the blackhead video was awesome.
It wasn't a blackhead.
Not the blackhead, but the abscess and the hoof. That's why I sent it to Ronnie.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah. Dawn, Jen, this is Caitlin. Caitlin, say hi.
Hi.
Hey, Caitlin. Nice to meet you, honey.
She's usually at her Dungeons and Dragons stuff on Tuesdays and Saturdays. So that's why she's never around for the 90-day live. And then
okay.
Thursday, she's usually in the bathtub.
And the fact that I don't watch 90 Day Fiance.
Yeah.
Oh, I gotcha. Well,
yeah, if we did a live about RuPaul's Drag Race, she'd be all over that. Which we still have to watch Dancing with the Stars for Shangela.
And the Celebrity Drag Race.
And Celebrity Drag Race.
Where is Dancing with the Stars? Because we haven't seen that in a while. I'm starting to watch. I'm getting back into The Voice.
It's on Disney Plus.
How's it?
Yeah, I think they had to put it on Disney Plus because they put a drag queen on it.
You know, I started watching something that Buddha 1000 suggested, 60 Days In. Have you heard of that?
No.
It's about people going into jail for 60 days just to get an inside track of what's going on, see if something's happening in the
Oh,
prison and all of that needs to be
well,
corrected.
we do something like here for charity once a year. Um, you pay a certain amount and you can choose somebody to be arrested and put in the jail for an hour.
What?
Yeah. And the
Wow.
attorneys do it to each other and the probation officers do it. Like I threatened to do it to my mom.
Wow.
Because my mom worked at felony probation, and I worked for a criminal defense attorney. So she kept, her office kept threatening to do it to me, and I kept threatening to do it to them.
Wow.
But they don't
It's
put you in
crazy.
with you're not in with Gen Pop. Like they have a specific pod of
Right.
cells that are just for this because I did it. Like I let somebody, nominate me.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I'm expecting to be like in with these women. Like I'm ready to be a hardened criminal, and I'm just sitting in a cell by myself with my cell phone and everything. Like nothing was taken away from me. I wasn't strip searched or anything,
That's no
because
fun.
well,
I mean, when my phone
it was for
went out, I
charity.
heard cows.
Right. I was a bad girl. I drove on a suspended license one too many times, and I actually did 30 days because of that.
Yeah.
And that was very interesting. I met some of the best people, and it's like a whole nother world inside. It's not like I'm condoning it, but it's not
Yeah.
as crazy as people make it out to be. And I that
Well,
show is very realistic.
but you were in
Uh,
the county jail, just like this show is in the county jail. When you're in state or federal prison,
yeah, that's
which means you're
different.
serving a year or more,
Yeah.
that is completely different.
Right.
County
Absolutely.
jail, you're there, for less than a year, and you
Right.
could just be there until you're in the same jail as the people that are serving a 9-month sentence, and you're just waiting to get a bond hearing because you just got arrested. Like, so
Right.
it's a different. I've been in the jail for meetings with clients and stuff.
Mhm.
But again, they put you in the attorney client room within their pod. So you get walked through the pods to the pod that you need to go to, and then they put you in the attorney room.
Mhm.
Um, so like I've been through and seen the people in the, because I've had to go to the male side and the female side, and I'm just like, I'm on this side of the bars. I'm staying on this side of the bars.
I
I'm like,
don't blame
I don't
you.
want to go to jail. Mm-mm. And it's our county
Yeah.
jail. Because we're in Florida, all of our government buildings and hospitals are kept at 70 degrees because it keeps the mold away and
Uh-huh.
bacteria. So it's freaking cold in the jail. And they are in paper thin, we still wear the old style black and white stripes in our county jail.
What? Oh my
Yes.
God.
And you've got like these really thin, like Keds sneaker, like slip-on shoes that are like super
Mhm.
thin, and you're lucky if you get socks, and you're freaking freezing.
Mm. No.
And I'm in
Well,
there
I
in my
haven't been
clothes with
back.
a sweatshirt on, in slippers, because I know it's gonna
Yeah.
be freaking cold. Because I don't even
No,
think they
thank
turn the heat
you.
on in the winter.
Oh my God. No, thank you. We need our heat.
Well, here,
Well,
people are like, oh, it's Florida. It never gets cold. It does. It goes down to freezing. It just, it only lasts for like a week or two at the freezing temperatures, but we'll get up in the morning and it'll only be 40 degrees out, but it'll be 73 by the afternoon. So we have to dress in layers because it's like you leave the house first thing in the morning, you're freaking freezing. And then by
right.
noon, it's like you're taking stuff off because it's hot. You go outside and it's hot. But we never
Right.
turn the heat on in the house because I like it cold. I'd rather put on a sweatshirt and some slippers and get under a blanket than be like trying to rip off clothes because I'm sweating to death. But
Dude,
I moved to
I
Florida.
told Jen, it's like our electric bill gets high enough. She's already starting to try to turn on the heat. I'm like, girl, if you don't throw a damn hoodie on, and she's like, I'm not like you. I'm like, throw a hoodie on and some sweatpants. It's like, you don't need no heat. It's like freaking October. We're in, you know what I mean? I'm like, it's still like 60, 70 degrees out.
Yeah, your October is our January, February.
Yeah. That's crazy.
So, but like we moved to Florida right when my mom was starting to go into perimenopause and menopause. So, like I said on one of them, it was like, Father of the Bride 2, where we're ripping off layers to go outside because we're in sweatshirts and sweatpants in the house because my mom's got it so freaking cold.
Oh my God,
but
the
like
last
we
time
had
you mentioned that, I meant to tell you about this cartoon editorial that Jen's mom sent us one time. Jen hadn't started going through any of that shit yet, and I had just been through it. And I was in the floor. It's this editorial cartoon of this woman walking in a bathing suit with a dolly, some type of dolly, and she's got this big, huge industrial fan blowing at her, and there's all these people walking around her, especially men, looking at her like crazy because they've got freaking overcoats and hats on, and it's a fucking snowstorm. And she's in a bathing suit with a fan blowing on her that she's carrying around. I'm like, I get it.
I remember we used to live over at.
Totally get that.
Remember, Dawn? I'd be like,
yeah, when we lived in Berlin. We lived in Berlin. I would get a hot flash, and I would legit go outside in the freezing cold and be like sweating. Like, yes, thank you, I needed this. Like,
I get up
like
in the
that.
middle of the night, and I am drenched in sweat like I've been at the gym for 3 hours, and I will just stand in front of the refrigerator until that sweat freezes on my body and I'm shivering and crawl back into the bed.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm trying to lay on Joe's side because my sheets are drenched to the point where I have to put down a damn towel.
Yeah, I relate.
Yeah, our house during the day it's set at 73. At night it goes down to 67 or 68. I have the ceiling fan plus one of Joe's like shop fans blowing on me in the bedroom. And then during the winter, Caitlin gets cold. She's got her own AC unit on her side because our house has an extension, so we have 2 different units.
Mm-hmm.
So she'll put the heat on her side, and we don't have it on our side. And it's like you can feel halfway through the kitchen where the vents change. And I'm like, Caitlin, turn the heat off. What are you doing? It's hot in here.
Wow.
And I'm like, if you're so cold, put on some damn clothes. Get another blanket. Don't turn the heat on. But yeah, during
I'm like, tough it out, babe. Throw some sweatpants and a shirt on. It's like wait till it gets cold to start doing that.
Just
but
like we have balance.
Have like a hot room. You know what I mean? It's like we have every room has its own heat. So it's like we have to designate in the winter because the bill gets so high, a room where we're just turning it on. And the poor cat, I'm like, you know what? We got to start bringing her in the room because we will freeze her ass out.
Well, talk about the hot room. That is where Joe set up for me to make my videos is the game room that he had soundproofed. Like he's got my ring light in there. He's got a microphone for me. And I'm like, I can't be in here. And he's like, why? I'm like, because it's too freaking hot. All of that like soundproofing like makes it just like a sauna. I'm like, I don't know how you sit in here and play video games. I'm dying. He's like, you've been here for 3 minutes.
You guys sound like you need a TV show.
My mother and I used to say we needed our own reality show because we were like the walking, talking Gilmore Girls.
Dude, I was cracking up. I looked at your videos where he was weightlifting the dog.
Yep.
That was when he had floor.
That was when he had during COVID, he had gotten out of the hospital and he was supposed to be, getting some exercise. but like we're under quarantine and stuff. So the dog's trying to play, tug of war, and I'm like, you might as well do some pull-ups. So he starts doing it, and I started filming, and that's Caitlin counting off.
Wow. I was like, look at him lifting the dog for weights.
Well, she weighed at the time like between 20 and 25 pounds. Now she's almost 30. So it was the perfect weight for, bicep curls.
Oh my God. And that snore, that one where she was snoring. Oh my
I
God.
told you.
I was like,
You
she
would have
sounds
thought
like
it was
a person.
Joe.
She sounds like a freaking person.
Yep. Everyone would have thought it was Joe, but nope, it's little Kiwi. And then you got
And then
Cranberry staring at me.
she's got her arm like over the top of the sofa, like straight up getting some straight up sleep. I'm like,
Yep.
look at this dog. And she makes me want to
It's
take a
so
nap.
peaceful. Watch sleep.
She made sleep look so good I almost went to sleep.
Yep. And she is my I'm not getting up in the morning dog. Caitlin and I, like, because Caitlin's alarm goes off at 7 for her to get up and take her meds and eat breakfast. And then she, like, will lounge around for 20 minutes before it's time to get dressed. She'll come into my room and crawl into bed with me and the dogs and just, like, curl back up. Because Kiwi is just, like, this little living stuffed animal. And she loves to be snuggled like that. And you just, like, hold her and snuggle. And she's just like...
Wow. Jen, are you in the kitchen?
I am in the kitchen. I'm making my tacos.
But
My burrito.
it's not Tuesday.
I know, but don't tell anyone.
Okay.
Oh wait. Oh,
I'm getting ready to come in there and make my spinach wraps.
It's Mako Monday.
It's Mako Monday. Well, I had set aside some mushrooms for Joe to put in his beefaroni because Caitlin doesn't like mushrooms. I might just go steal some of his mushrooms because they're like the garlic butter mushrooms, the baby Bella's, nice all sliced up and yummy. So I might just go steal some of his mushrooms. But I saw your video on how to make the chickpea salad, so I am ready to go. I have my seaweed flakes. I'm going to skip the Old Bay.
So
okay. It adds a nice little flavor in there.
All right. I was going to do garlic powder. I saw you do onion powder. No, garlic powder. I do garlic powder in mine too.
Yeah, I do garlic powder. I do some pickles, some onions, some celery.
Yeah, I saw the pickle on top of the chickpeas on top of the cracker. And I'm like, that is so me.
I love it. It tastes just like tuna. You just got to get it really ground really good.
Yeah, I saw you with the potato masher going at it.
Yeah, it's like throw it in a food processor because it takes forever to do it the way I have it.
Yeah.
Fine a little bit, but Dawn likes keeping them raw.
Because I am raw vegan.
You're raw vegan. That's your superhero name. I'm She-Hulk.
Wow. We got to come up with one for Jen.
She's Veganowledge.
Yeah, pretty much.
I'm corny.
Because if it wasn't corny. If it wasn't for her dairy video, that was the first one of her videos that I sat and watched, like, after I subscribed to her channel. And I'm like, wait a second. There's vegan sour cream? Is it made with oat milk? Because everything good seemed to be made with oat milk.
And cream cheese, did you try that yet?
No, I didn't get the cream cheese this time because I don't like cream cheese on my pumpkin bagels. But I'm going to get, we have a really good bagel place that opened up here, and they have my, egg bagels. And I love cream cheese on my egg bagels. So the next time I get some bagels, I'm getting me my cream cheese. And I am going to go at it because they had the brand that you recommended. And then they also had Kite Hill. So I wanted to get both and do a taste test. Like
Yeah,
do
you'll
half
like
of a
that
bagel
better.
with one and half with the
Hey,
other
let me
and
know.
see which one tasted better.
I love onion bagels.
Oh, I'm not even supposed to eat egg, but there's something about the egg bagel that I
That's
don't
like
even
the
think.
plain one, right?
No, it's the one that's yellow.
Yeah, I've had that. That's actually a really good one.
And then back in New York at the bagel place I used to go to, they made an egg bacon bagel, which again, you guys are vegan, so you're not eating the egg bagel, you're not eating the bacon bagel. But back when you were meat eaters,
Right.
you would have loved it. It's an egg bagel that had chunks of bacon in the bagel.
Oh. Mm. Yeah, I would have loved that.
Yeah.
I would have loved that.
But you had to order it, tell them that you wanted an egg bacon bagel and not a bacon egg bagel. Otherwise, you would have gotten a plain bagel with bacon and eggs on it.
Ah, I gotcha. Oh
But
man.
and then my mom
Bagel.
used to love egg everything bagels, which was the egg bagel with all of the everything.
Right.
Oh my
Salt,
God,
pepper, everything on it.
she would have been loving this everything but the bagel seasoning.
Mm-hmm.
She used to crack me up. She would sit down with the bat. Have you had those pretzel crisps?
Yeah.
Okay. She used to Aldi sells one that's in a red bag and it's everything bagel flavored. And she would get
I
those
saw that.
and she would get the cream cheese out and she would dip the pretzel chip like it's a bagel chip into the cream cheese and eat it. Like it was an
Wow.
everything bagel. And she loved it.
You know what I would eat them with? Hummus.
I used to do tuna. I would get the plain ones and eat
I
them with
did
tuna.
tuna. I did tuna. Oh my God. Hell yeah. They were so good with
And I
tuna.
used to make little sandwiches out of them.
Yes. Oh my God. Remember that, Jen? The ones in the blue bag?
Yeah.
But the ones at Aldi's are like mini size. They're not the same. The big full size one, they're like half the size. But
Mm-hmm.
Aldi sells the everything. I don't think the name brand sells everything. I've seen like pepper and I've seen different flavors.
Yeah.
I think they even came out with a jalapeno one, but I didn't see everything. But Aldi's has the red bag is everything and the blue bag is plain.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, they've got Aldi's has cheese, their brand of Cheez-Its. They've got vanilla
I,
wafers. They've got, if it's on the shelves in the supermarket, they have their own version of it. They have their own version of Olive Garden dressing, and it's in the same shape bottle and everything. Tastes the same. It's like $1.99.
Well, and you know they get those manufacturers to make that for
Yeah,
them.
that's what I
You
was
know?
explaining to Caitlin. Store brand versus name brand. The store pays the same company to make it at a cheaper price, and then the store sticks their label on it because you're
Right.
paying for the name brand.
Exactly.
The only one where I found it is not the same is Kraft macaroni and cheese. I have not found a store brand that tastes like Kraft macaroni and cheese. Even the noodles are different.
Kraft said we're not having that shit.
Yeah, we'll let you use our cheese blend, but you're not getting our elbow shape. You're gonna have to use a different, length elbow shape so people know that it's not Kraft or something.
Right,
I don't.
right.
I did try Annie's gluten free, and theirs
Mm-hmm.
is not bad. And I saw that they just came out with a vegan mac and cheese. It's made with sweet potato.
Chow had a good one in
Chow
the
has a really, I know that I was just about to say that, John. They have a really good mac and cheese.
I'm getting on the bandwagon because I have not eaten a lot of cheese products or dairy products. Like I would try to limit it to once a week
Mm-hmm.
because of how much it would upset my stomach. Like I knew that was going to be a 2 Prilosec and an Imodium day.
Get out the
So,
Prilosec and the Imodium.
yeah.
Well, I'm gonna go eat,
Well,
baby
I
girl.
am going to hop off because
We
I got
said
to get
that at
ready for
the same
bed.
time. We said that at the same
There's
time.
some
Thank you for coming on here.
Oh,
meat
you're welcome.
next meat.
Yes,
Safe, love
definitely.
you.
And I will try and pop on tomorrow night for 90 Day. I'm probably going to be doing it from, the soundproof booth
Okay.
with a fan on my face.
Live. You can
Um
the weather lady on Takeover for Tuesday.
yeah, I can tell you exactly what we're feeling.
We're
Right.
here
Do you hear this
right now
wind?
live. Thank you.
All right, ladies. It was great talking to you tonight. I'll see you tomorrow.
All right, girl. Good night.